Good evening and welcome to the FITT Show, financial information for today and tomorrow. I'm Bobby Kinzer.
I am Thomas Joe.
And we come to you every Thursday at 8 p.m. with financial tips, strategies, and recommendations. And remember this, we're not financial advisors, we are financial educators. So welcome everybody. We got a great show. We got a great show today, man. Like all the shows are great, but this one I feel very special about. Just want to remind you all to make sure you go out there and click on the like button, the thumbs up button, and click on the heart button. And that helps us with traction and reaching out to the people. We just want to say once again, hello to all our people across the country and across the water in England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. We got friends all over you all because this information just don't apply to one country. The information, the news we use, it can be applied everywhere. It doesn't matter what currency you're using. Financial management, personal financial management is very important. So, this week's show, last week, we talked about those wonderful, wonderful pitfalls. But this week, we want to talk about how to save money.
Yes, we are. How to save money. To increase the amount of money you save, you got two simple options. You can increase your income or you can decrease the money you're spending. Today, we're going to focus on ways to decrease the money you spend. We're going to look at different ways for you to cut your costs, take some of that money, invest it, and make more money. So, Bob, what's the best way to get started doing this?
Well, Doe, one of the most important ways to start is reviewing your past spending history. Doing this, you'll get a better sense of where your money is going, and it will help you identify ways to actually reduce your costs. See, a budget is like telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. So it's always important. And this is one of our core principles for the FITT Show Creating Wealth model is budgeting. And there's a wide range of budgeting and money saving apps that are out there. And you need to go out there and these things can help you automate your savings, give you ways how you can alert if you are overspending, and help you to invest some of your money for savings so that it can grow. So you can go out online, Google budget worksheets. There's so many out there, and there's a lot that are free. There's a lot for pay, but there's a lot for free. And you can have these apps right on your phones, and these alerts will help you tremendously. And remember this, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. Am I right about it, Dope?
That's for sure.
I'm telling you, man. So look, today we want to be talking about how to save money. And I know everybody want to know about this. So today, tune in, y'all, because we're going to be rolling. So hold on. Like we always say, we got 100 pounds of knowledge in a 10-minute show. So stick with us. So, Dope, let's talk about some ways of how to save money.
Okay. And as you were just talking about, Bob, your first step, look at your spending habits. Look and see where you're spending your money. Get a feel for where it's going. Make sure it makes sense. Make sure it's part of what you're trying to do. One thing you might want to consider is creating a vision board. And that's just something to give you general guidelines of where your money's going, what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish. Keep that with you. And if you get to the point where you get weak or you get to the point where you want to buy something on an impulse, look back at your vision board, look back at what you're trying to accomplish. And that may help keep you between the guidelines that you set for yourself. Because the most common reason for budget failing is impulse spending. So you got to have something that keeps you between the guardrails.
So speaking about that vision board, I don't know if people realize it used was a little trend there for a minute, but people stopped it. But we need to bring it back because what a vision board actually do, it just help you visualize some of your goals. And they used to have parties at people's house where all these magazines that they had stocked up and were saving, everybody brought the magazines over. Then they had, the board, the cardboard type of square big boards, and they would cut out the things that they were goals that they had, but they were visualizing them by putting them on a vision board. So a vision board is a good way to keep on track with your goals. I want to talk one adult savings method, which is pretty interesting, and it's invest a month's paycheck without feeling it. And this is how you do it. Okay, there's 26, if you're getting paid bi-weekly, there's 26 pay periods, right? That's twice a week, right?
Twice a month.
Twice a week, you really getting paid. Twice a month, right? So if there's twice a month, that means 24 weeks is a year. That extra 2, because it's 26 weeks in a bi-weekly pay period, bi-monthly, I keep saying weekly, bi-monthly pay period. Take those extra checks, because 1 month, you're going to get 3 checks. That's just how it works, right? There's 2 months that you're going to get 3 checks. Take that third check and put it in, invest it, or put it in a savings account to help build your emergency fund if your emergency fund isn't stacked up. But that's called investing a month's paycheck without feeling it, right? Because you got a paycheck every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, take that third one and put it into an investment.
Okay, the next one is when you start a job, typically you sign up for a savings plan. You should at least be saving 5%. But if you work for a company that happens to match the first 6%, then that's where you should start. You should always save at least the amount that your company is matching. Okay, and then once you start getting raises annually, take 1% every year. Every time you get a raise, take 1%, increase the amount you put toward your investment. That's one of our core principles of paying yourself first. So whenever you get a raise, add to the amount of money that you're putting away.
Hey, Dope, I got to take a minute to shout out to our viewers. My wonderful niece out there, Rhonda. She's out there. And look, our favorite loyal viewer, Garnet Nickens, is out there. And look, got another friend, co-worker and good friend for years, Bridget Bowens. What's up, Bridget? Hello. And got to say hello to our frat brother, Charles Clutch McCargo. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Make sure y'all let your other family members know, your friends and cousins and Lottie Dottie and everybody. So, Dope, the next one I want to talk about, this is a really, really slick one. It's called Budget with a Gift Card. Now, what does that mean? If you find yourself overspending, look, buy a gift card at the beginning of the month for a lot amount of money. And once the gift card is spent, you are cut off from shelling out more money. It's called budgeting with a gift card. And that's mainly if using that for like entertainment, like, if you going out or if you going out and buying, spending a lot of money going out eating, no, buy a gift card with a certain amount of money on it at the beginning of the month and use that to go and pay for those other items, the discretionary items. And when you run out, that's it. That's it. And it's just another way, another little tip to control your spending.
The other thing you got to do is, we've talked about this before, is comparison shop. There's so many tools online that you can comparative shop. Look at your mobile service. That's one that you pretty get comfortable. You get comfortable with one, and they can kind of inch up on their cost. But take a look at it. Make sure you're getting the best price you can get. Look at the amount of usage that you're using. Maybe you're not using as much as you're paying for. And that's something you can use to cut your cost.
That's a very interesting tip, though. And alternatively, use cash instead of plastic. Okay? Using cash limits the amount you spend. It's easy to spend when you have a credit card. And one, because you think it's your money. And remember, it is not your money. It's like nacho cheese. It's not your money. So stop it. because it's so easy. So if you carry cash, you usually only going to spend the amount of cash that you have, because a lot of people are getting extended or credit lines. Like say you had a $1,000 limit, but you've been paying your credit card off really good, so they increase your balance to 2,000, increase your balance to 5,000. And what people do invariably, you end up spending more. It's just like when you get a paycheck, you know, a pay increase. People get pay increases. What's the first thing to do? They end up spending more. Same with a credit card. You know, it's not your money. So if you want to control your spending using that credit card, leave out the house with cash. And that way you're only going to spend the amount of money of cash that you have.
Okay, ask for presents that saves you money. And this, the first thing I thought about is if you have kids, you have a party and everybody brings a toy and your kid gets a toy that he plays with for about 10 seconds. And then often he has more fun with the box. But ask your friends to get you things that'll save you money. Ask for a zoo membership or a ticket to a children's museum, something that you'll use as opposed to those endless boxes of toys that end up getting thrown away. And if someone asks you what you want, think of something that you're going to spend money on anyway and ask for that, or ask for a gift card. I mean, that's another way to do it, but you don't want to get things that you aren't going to use, are just going to sit around and be in the way, and you end up giving the goodwill or throwing away.
Hey, Doe, I got to confess, man. I remember I wanted one of those G.I. Joe dogs with the Kung Fu grip. And my parents, well, my mother, you know, didn't have the kind of money to get me that. So that Christmas, she bought me a bag of 100 Army men. Remember those little Army men? They only had 3 positions, but I had 100 men. I ain't want that crap. But save your money and spend it on something like passes to the zoo or, you know, to the aquarium or something, you know, something that, you know, will actually last. You know, a pass can last for months. But buying these toys and stuff, you know, please help me. So, Doe, cancel your mortgage insurance, meaning PMI, your private mortgage insurance. A lender will charge you private mortgage insurance. However, when you reach the 20% equity in your house, you can cancel PMI, private mortgage insurance, and you will save a lot of money. And they don't tell you, by the way, when you reach that 20% equity in your house, because you got to be 80%, right, of the value of the house, and they'll get rid of, and you can cancel. But they don't tell you that. They're not going to call you up and say, hey, your house just appreciated 30% more. You can get rid of the PMI. No, they don't tell you that. You can cancel that and save yourself a lot of money.
Yeah. Look at your insurance fees. Make sure you're not paying for any that you don't need. Find out if you get a discount for paying the full premium, the full 6-month or 1-year premium. A lot of insurance companies will give you a discount for that. Also talk to them about home upgrades you made. A lot of people have alarm systems. They have Ring doorbells. They have fire extinguishers. You get discounts for all that stuff. Make sure your insurance agent knows what you have and that you're getting the appropriate discount for that product.
Bridget put it in the comment box that she said, great advice. I only use cash or debit card for spending. Bridget, let me advise you on one thing about a debit card. And I'm hoping I'm not premature, though. We're going to talk about that, but no. I'm going to bring it up now. Never, ever use the debit card, because if you're using the debit card, one, you got to put a PIN number in. Somebody can steal your PIN number and they get your information, and they can have identity theft. And this is the reason why you don't use a debit card, because if that happens, the bank takes 30, 60 to 90 days to refund your money. So always use credit. One, it's more secure. It gives you more security. Two, it takes, you know, sometimes maybe a little bit more, but not as much as 3 days for them to refund your money with credit. 2, when you use debit, you do not build credit. You use credit, you actually are building credit while you use credit. 3, you get cash rewards from using a credit card, and that's tax-free money. And 4, the other big one, though, is if you have a defected item, or the item is not, it's defected, the credit card company, you call them, and they will reimburse your credit. So that's very important, right? Never use a debit card. Always use credit.
And if you do use a debit card, make sure you don't use it in an account that has a large amount of money, because if someone does hack your debit card, they have access to your cash account. Debit card is like cash.
Okay.
And so if they get access to that number and your PIN, they can go right into your account and clean you out. Versus a credit card, they get your credit card number, you typically aren't charged or aren't responsible for fraudulent charges.
And Bridget just clarified. She said she used her debit card. She used the credit on the debit card. So got you. So it's really you using credit, by the way. So yeah, thank you for clearing that. It allows me to avoid using credit cards. But when you use credit, Bridget, you may think it's your debit card, but you're using credit. It's the same as using the credit card. So anyway. So what's the next one, Doe? Lower your insurance fees. That's you, Doe.
Yeah, I did that.
You did? Oh, man, I'm gonna be running my mouth so fast. Wow, I missed that. So use complete debt payment to save money. Meaning, if you finish paying off your car, a home, or student loan, keep making the payments towards another goal, like interest, like high interest savings account, so you can build an emergency fund, or transition that student loan money that you paid off to payments on your kids' 529 plan, which is an investment plan that you can put money into, get a tax benefit, and it goes towards your child's education. So use the completed debt. It's like a snowball effect. Once you pay off one, that frees up that money that you could be putting it on another actual bill or helping you towards another financial goal.
Look at all those cancel subscriptions. Look at all those subscriptions that you don't really use. You might be paying for a fee-based wellness coach. You might have a gym membership that you don't make it to as much as you should. Cable is going crazy high. Do you really watch enough to justify paying over $100 a month, which is the average cable bill? Look at all those things you don't use, the magazines you get that just pile up, and ask yourself, is that money that could be used elsewhere, or is money that could be invested as opposed to being wasted?
So the other thing is, though, there's over 400 cable channels, and how many do people really look at? But they paying for all those extra channels. And if you got like a Fire Stick or Hulu, or there's another one that I'm forgetting, and streaming now, that's the thing. Streaming now, that's what the Fire Stick is really doing. Streaming, and it's free. You just pay for the Fire Stick, and now it's legal. It used to be illegal, and you had to break the code and all that. No, it is legal. If it's streaming, you can get it, and that will save you money. So never make a late payment again, you all. Your late payment will ding your credit score and cost you a fee, which is totally avoidable. Pay it off. Never make another late payment. If you can't pay it off, don't be late, because you are damaging your credit and you building up interest, compounding interest that you have to pay. So never make a late payment, ever. Because me and Dope, first of all, we never make a late payment, so we never have to worry about a credit. And the other thing is, we never pay interest. We use credit cards all the time, but we never pay interest, because we pay that Billy off before it can accumulate. Now, I know everybody can't do that, but remember this: you really should be only using credit cards in the event of large purchases or unplanned events that happen, to be honest. Now, I know a lot of people use credit cards like, give their kids in college and they put in pizzas, they put in Ubers, and that's one way to really run up your credit card debt. But if you're responsible and you're paying it off, then that's fine. But if you're not, you need to stop.
Yeah. The other thing you need to stop is paying your bank. Your bank's nickel and dime you to death with little bitty charges. Make sure you aren't paying any bank fees, because all banks have some sort of free checking. They may require a direct deposit, they may require a minimum balance, but you should make sure you're not paying any bank fees. That's just money, basically, you like to match to. Get in the habit of not using ATMs that are out of your network. And comparison shop. Look at different banks, find one that has low fees, one that has money machines that are near where you are. Look into a credit union. They typically have better rates and lower fees anyway. But that's just money that's wasted. If you're paying any bank fees at all, you shouldn't be. You can find a way to get around those.
And consider switching to credit unions, right? Because credit unions give you better rates, and credit unions, what people don't know, this is the difference between credit unions and banks. Now, it's not all the time, but majority of the time, you can do better at a credit union. The reason why is banks, commercial banks, are for profit. They are looking out for the stakeholders who invest in that bank to increase their stakeholders' earnings. Credit unions are not for profit. And that's why they're member organizations, right? They're based on the membership. And a lot of the time, the membership is just you pay $5 to open up a checking account, and now you're a member. Simple as that. Like Navy Federal. I know a bunch of people with Navy Federal. They're not in the Navy. I use Pentagon Federal. I've never been in the Army, but I opened an account with $5, and then credit union normally gives you better rates because it's community bank, and they're trying to really take into account the members that are involved in that credit union. So consider that. Quit carrying around credit card balance, okay? The average household with debt pays nearly $904 of interest a year. Stop carrying those credit card balance. Now, like me and Dodie always say, we know there are situations that sometimes you're in a pickle and you can't avoid. We're not talking about those times. Get this straight. Don't use that as an excuse. A bunch of people are just spending just recklessly. And the key is to manage your spending so that you can pay off those credit card balance. You should never carry around a credit card balance.
Okay, your housing costs. We always recommend owning a home, but one of the big advantages of renting is you're flexible. So if you're renting, look for more affordable housing. I mean, find a cheaper place to live. During the pandemic, you had options to go look for cheaper housing. Consider a roommate if that's a possibility to lower your costs. That's one of the things you can do. We talked about if you own a home and refinancing and that type of thing. But if you're renting, that's one of the options you have to find a lower priced place or get a roommate.
So, though, we have a question in the comment box, and it says, so can you use a debit card as a credit card? Some people just have a debit card, but some banks, the debit card is also a credit card. So the answer to that is yes, depending on which bank you with. But yes, if it's a debit card, and when you go to the cashier and they usually ask you debit or credit, that's what they ask you. It's usually a debit card that also has the credit feature. So yes, but not all debit cards have the credit card feature, but most of them do. It just depends on the bank that you're with, but most of them do. So the answer to that is yes. I want to say a shout out to our frat brother up there in Philly, Stan Booze. He's on point, though. Just want to holler to our frat brother, Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated. Though, I want to talk about be a strategic grocery shopper. Start with a list that details only what you read, only what you need, and stick to it. Don't go to the grocery store hungry. That's another one. Or with hungry kids, because you end up buying up everything. And if you got hungry kids, they'll be putting everything in that basket. So don't go to the grocery store hungry or with hungry kids. And a study was found that those who made a shopping list before going to the store typically threw away less food. Because think about it. A lot of people go and buy a bunch of stuff. I mean, they buy bread that goes stale. They buy other items that they don't eat. They buy or overbuy. So be a strategic grocery shopper. That is so important, though.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, be strategic about all of your purchases. You know, if you think about it, but buy things when they're on sale as opposed to waiting till you need them. I'm a workout junkie, so I got a ton of workout clothes. And I don't wait till something wears out before I buy new shirts or shorts or socks or even shoes. I buy it when it's on sale. I buy it when it's 40% off as opposed to waiting until it wears out because I know I'm going to need it. Buy things off season. At the end of the season, into the winter season is when you buy a coat. You don't buy a coat going into the winter season. You buy it at the end of the season for the next winter. Same with summer clothes. You know, use coupons, comparison shop. Make that how you do your shopping. And it's just common sense to not pay full price for almost anything anymore. And it's just a matter of you deciding when you buy. You can wait till you need it, and then you're a victim or you're at the mercy of the prices that are being offered at that time. Or you buy it knowing you're going to need it, and you buy it when it's on sale.
Hey, Dope, speaking about seasonal buying, right? This is kind of always kind of baffled me because people do some crazy stuff when it comes to spending money. And I always tell them, stop that kind of foolishness. But no, explain this to me when it comes to seasonal buy. I never understood this. I saw a guy, he had a pair of corduroy shorts. I mean, isn't that like counterproductive?
That's
Or I saw a lady who had a short sleeve turtleneck. I don't, the seasonal buying, I don't get it. It gets kind of crazy. So, like we say, y'all, cut that damn foolishness out. Because spending, you all can really take away your savings. And another dope thing I want to mention about savings, a lot of people don't pay attention to inflation. Now, I know you all have heard about inflation. Inflation is just the cost of goods. Like 20 years ago, a carton of milk was something like 89 cents. Today it's like $3.55. So inflation can eat through your savings too. That's why we always talk about investing in things, and we're going to be talking in our future because today, like Doe said in the beginning, there's two things that comes with savings. It's either increase your earnings or manage your spending. Today, most of the saving things is about managing your spending, but we're going to talk about future shows how to maximize your earnings. But inflation will eat through your earnings and your savings. For instance, if a pack of gum, if you put your dollar under your mattress last year and a pack of gum cost $1, and this year a pack of gum is $1.50, guess what? You're not going to be able to chew no gum because inflation can eat through your savings. And that's why you want your money to work for you and not you working for your money. Savings is very important, you all, but it's counterintuitive to actually totally build wealth just by savings. Savings, you start by getting an emergency fund, you get your spending under control, and then the money you have you then go and use and try to invest it to maximize your earnings to keep pace with not only inflation, but also with taxes. So, though we at that time of the show, let's take it on home and let's talk about our takeaways, summaries, and takeaways, Dope.
Okay. We've talked about this as one of our core components. Review your spending habits. Look at what you're spending your money on. Know where it's going, and make sure it's part of your plan. Make sure whatever you're spending your money on is where you want it to go.
Yes, so much so. And every category of spending is an opportunity for savings. Meaning, that's why we talk so much today about managing your spending, because every category there's if you're spending, it's hard to save. And that's most people's problems. Every category of spending. I don't care whatever you're doing, whether it's on entertainment, whether it's on your kids, whether it's on subsistence on groceries and shopping. If you're overspending, it's going to eat through your savings.
And the more ways you find to save, the more money you're going to have to invest or to just enjoy life. You know, you take all these little bitty savings in each of these categories, it'll add up to a nice hunk of money, and you can use that to invest that money, or just that's money you're going to enjoy. But either way, it's not money wasted. It's money you'll have at your disposal.
Make saving money a habit. In other words, it's not no fad. It's not no one-time thing. You have to make saving a habit, because I'm telling you, it eats through all of these. We always talk about needs and wants out here, and we be going for the needs a lot, wants a lot of times, and it can eat through the cash that you have. Dope. I have a lot of friends that say they don't make enough money, right? But yet, I have a friend that makes 1,000 on one pension, 4,000 another, and that's $5,000 a month. And they talk about they're struggling, but then I talked to her about it, and she's spending $100 a week just on lottery tickets. But she's complaining about not having any money. So you got to make savings a habit.
Think through how you're going to use your hard-earned money, whether you're getting it through a pension or your job. You took some effort to get whatever money you're getting. Think through how you're going to use it. Don't just let it go away on things that you don't really need or things that don't have any value to you. So get a plan. Think through how you're going to use your money. You work too hard to waste it.
And you are responsible for the management of your money. Nobody else. That's why you got to take the time. I mean, that's your hard-earned money. And like we always say, if you can't find the information yourself, then go seek professional help. But even when you seek professional help, remember one thing. I don't care what financial advisor you choose, which certified financial planner you pick. At the end of the day, you are responsible for the hard-earned money you make. The next one, be aware of little expenses. Remember I was talking about earlier, this spending? A small leak can sink a great ship. It's never the big ones, you all, because the big expenses, those are the one-off where the refrigerator went out or the washer and dryer went out. That doesn't happen all the time. The big ones, it's those little ones that you got to watch out for because they add up. It's those going to Starbucks and spending $8 on a Frappuccino a day for a week. That stuff adds up. You got to make sure it's the little expenses that you must pay attention to.
And the great Warren Buffett made this comment: don't save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. Always pay yourself first. That's got to be what you do. Pay yourself first.
So with that dope, once again, another great show. Before we uh, check out of here, I want to say hello to my wonderful daughter down there in Houston, Texas, Tanisha. She's watching, and it's so great to see our family dope tuning in and telling their friends. Garnet says, pay yourself first. She put a big thumbs up. And by the way, before we tune off, I want y'all to put some comments out there of any additional ways that y'all may think that a person could save money. We like to know. We want to hear from y'all. We're not saying we have all the ideas, but before we go off, put down in some of your comments if you know some other ways to save money. Click on the like button, you all, the thumbs up. We still here because that helps us reach more people. That's how Facebook work, their algorithms. And also we on YouTube Live too. So the more people you tell about these places, everybody's not on Facebook. We know that. So tell them to go to YouTube, search the FITT Show. And that's how we actually will expand our audience, because this information is important, isn't it, Dope?
Oh yeah, and a lot of times we don't get this growing up. I wish I knew these things when I first started working. I'd be even further ahead than I am now. But we're trying to pass this on to folks, the little tips and tidbits that we picked up through our careers and through our lives and through our mistakes. And a lot of times people don't share information. But I think I mentioned before, I always tried to surround myself with people who, one, were well off, and I would try to find out how they did it and pick up tips. So when Bob talks about sending comments of additional ways to save money, we'll get those and pass them on. The more information you have, the better decisions you can make, the more money you'll save. It's a win-win for everybody.
And Dope, we always say this, and we want to make sure y'all understand this. Creating wealth is not easy. It's not easy. Trying to fit a budget into your lifestyle, we know it's not easy. Because if it was easy, everybody be doing it, but people don't. But what we trying to do, what we want y'all to do, we want y'all to get this knowledge to empower you so you can pass this on to your kids, your family members. Because so many people are struggling out there today, and it just comes from, let me tell you, most financial management is not about how much money you make. It's really an attitude. It's a mindset. And that's what we're trying to help you all with. We're trying to put you in the mindset of understanding it's tools. Yes, it's not easy, but once you start learning these tools, and I don't know if you listen to what me and Dodie be saying each week, there's little things that they don't tell you. Like I talk about the PMI, the debit card. There's so many other things that the government and society does not tell us. And I'm sorry, don't be sitting out there wishing that they did, because it don't work like that. It's a game, you all. And the name of the game is understanding the game. Now, some people may have a problem with me saying that, but I used to tell people this at work. Don't come to a basketball game asking the coach to put you in and you got a hockey mask and a hockey stick in your hand. Understand the game. So with that, you all, we're so glad that you tuned in to us. And oh man, hey, Joe, I have our daycare provider for Melody, Aunt Jennifer Bing, is out there listening. She said, I stumbled on this show and I'm happy to join you guys. Thank you for the information. Oh my God, Aunt Jen, man, look, she have her own business for years, daycare, one of the best daycare moms. And we're going to talk about entrepreneurship and some coming up shows on starting a business as another way to increase your earnings. So make sure you stay tuned. Clutch said, knowledge is power. We always say, though, you can lead a person to knowledge, but you can't make them think. So thank you all. Tune in every Thursday at 8 p.m. The FITT Show. Financial information for today and tomorrow. Thank you all. Peace and love, and tune in next week.
Peace.